everybody. Welcome to the Hallmarkies podcast. And really excited. We have Haley Strong back on the podcast today to talk about one of our favorites, Candy Cain, her latest holiday film. It's gonna be super fun. We're talking about Magic in Mount Holly today. But thank you so much for coming back. I always love getting to talk with you, Haley.
I'm thrilled to be here. Whenever you message me, it's like I don't even read what it is that we're going to be talking about. I'm just like, yes. Sign me up. I'm in. Let's find a day. And I feel like this has been on our list for a while now. Yes. And it's convenient that we're talking about it this week. And maybe you planned it this way. I don't know. But Cody Calafiore, one of the stars of this movie, is going to be on a show coming out this weekend, The Traitors.
I just saw that on the Rahap group that there was, I don't know if it was a preview or something that they were talking about. So yeah, we got a lot of Cody. So this is good.
So much Cody. And you know what? Yeah. How many years have we been doing this? Like 3. This is what, our 3rd or 4th Cody Calafiore movie.
Yeah, no, this is our 3rd. And so yeah, he and Candy Cain have been working together for a long time.
I feel like he's getting better, but the movies are getting worse. This has to be probably the 5th or 6th movie I've covered with you.
Yes.
And this was by far the worst one on so many levels.
Yeah, but it's surprising because it actually, I think, has the best cast. It has Crystal Lowe, who's in a series called Signed, Sealed, Delivered. That I really love. It has Patrick Muldoon, who was in Boyfriend for Christmas, which is like a Hallmark classic. So it has like a lot of and people that must be friends with Candy because,
and even her daughter, Catherine Cain, comes up as pedestrian.
Oh yeah. Well. For people that have missed our previous coverage, we'll put all the links. Why don't you remind people what you do and what you cover on Rahap and other places?
So I am most well known for covering The Bachelor, Bachelorette, Bachelor in Paradise over on the reality TV Wrap Ups Network. I think the first time I came over here, we were talking about like a Bachelor related movie.
Yeah, and now Bradley Cooper.
Great movie. I love that one. I stand by that opinion. And now you just call me whenever there's a movie coming out with a reality TV star.
Yes.
Which there have been many of them.
Yeah. Whenever there's a movie that involves reality dating, or stars a reality star. So yeah, we've had a lot of fun.
You know what? I love it. I can't sit here and pretend like I don't. And then this movie was a shocking 2-for-1 reality star movie. Because we got Survivor's Andrea Belkey.
And she's not even listed. So she was just like a bonus. Yeah. She's not in the cast.
No, it's not on her resume either. I went on her website. I looked through her IMDb page. Magic in Mount Holly is nowhere to be found.
She must know Cody.
I mean, that has to be what happened here.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Well, we usually talk kind of about what's going on in reality TV as well, but I have to be honest, I got so busy with covering Christmas. I only watched like about 3 episodes of the last season of Survivor, and I have them all on my DVR waiting for some magic day when I can binge watch them. I mean, I know what happened and everything, but I was just too busy. So I'm not up to date on my Survivor, but I heard this season was kind of
It was kind of the fall reality TV season is just like almost getting a little too heavy for me. Like, you know, because we got The Bachelor at ending and Bachelor in Paradise starting. We had Survivor, The Challenge, Dancing with the Stars, which is a favorite of mine. That one I don't miss. And so The Challenge kind of fell by the wayside for me. I'm not caught up on that. Survivor, there would be weeks where, like, you know, 2 or 3 weeks in a row where we didn't watch it, and then we'd have to like catch up. So I would say the season as a whole was not great, but the finale was one of the most shocking endings I've ever seen, which was fun in that respect.
Isn't it the second oldest winner ever?
What a great question you're asking me right now.
Yeah, I think so. I think I heard that, but
It's very possible.
yeah.
Yeah, so I would say it's like, yeah, worth the catch up on a rainy day, but I wouldn't say it's like must see television, honestly.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, there really was a lot because there was like there was The Circle, I think was back on Netflix, and other, new shows. Just it's a busy. And we had one of our Hallmark hunks on Dancing with the Stars. I didn't watch it because I Trevor Donovan, but he did pretty good, I think, right?
He did. Yeah, I did like him. I didn't realize he was a Hallmark hunk because he mostly talked about his time on the reboot of 90210.
Yeah.
But the story checks out. Yeah,
he's probably done a dozen of them. Yeah, he's been in a lot. So that's funny. He never mentioned that.
He never mentioned it.
That's funny. Yeah.
And like I did read that he was a part of like the Family First Network or whatever it's called. When like the CCB
Great
drama
American
came
Family.
up. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. I thought that was a baseball park in Cincinnati, but
yeah. But what do you say about that?
It's, it's interesting.
It is interesting. Well, I mean, the network completely flopped. It did absolutely terrible ratings.
That's interesting to me because I would have thought they would have. I feel like they really honed in on their niche as much as I would not want to be a part of that niche. And I do not fall within that niche. They are not advertising to me. I do not stand behind them.
Right.
But I would expect that they would have like a small backing, but like a very strong backing. But
yeah, I thought so too. I thought they would be like actual competition for Hallmark, but they didn't. They only had a couple movies that made the top 150 on their nights, and nobody's even close to Hallmark. Hallmark was in pretty much every single one of both of their movies, whether it's on Movies Mysteries or their regular channel, made the top 20 every night. And most of them led cable, non-news, non-sports. So it's not even like people are acting like in the news and stuff when you hear reporting that they're the same, but they're not at all. Like it's not even.
I appreciate your context in that. Yeah, because they really did tout it as like, this is Hallmark's competition. They made this because whatever.
Ho, ho, ho. We'd like to take a second and thank our sponsor for this episode of the podcast. It's the Hallmarkies Patreon.
Do you love Hallmarkies podcast, especially at Christmas?
Do you enjoy the holiday previews, recaps, interviews, and bonus episodes?
If the answer is yes, please consider supporting the Hallmarkies Patreon. We need your help to do what we do both during the Christmas season and all year round.
But not only do you help a podcast led by strong, independent women by becoming a Patreon, you get to become a part of the Hallmarkies family.
Starting at only $2 a month as a patron, you will have access to our Facebook Patreon group where we talk about the movies, shows, and more all year.
We also have many monthly patron watch-alongs with guests like Lacey Chabert, Natalie Hall, Paul Campbell, Mary Lou Henner, and more, giving their behind-the-scenes details of their films.
As a patron, you also have the chance to provide input into the podcast and even join us at different tiers.
So this Christmas season, spread some cheer to the Hallmarkies Patreon and become a member today. You won't regret it.
Go to patreon.com/Hallmarkies to learn more.
That's patreon.com/Hallmarkies.
And how do you feel about being on the forefront of Hallmark culture? Because it's like really mainstream now. Like it is a thing. Like they are selling pajamas, and like you've been here since the beginning. Like you are the mainstay here.
We've been covering Christmas since 2017.
That's crazy.
This was our 6th year covering Christmas, and it's certainly there's been more controversy and more drama than I ever thought you would get in covering Hallmark. But it's been a very interesting experience, and I love getting to talk to so much of the talent and the writers, and it was very exciting because this year we got Samantha DePeppo, who is the senior vice president of programming from Hallmark.
That's cool.
And it was a lot of work to get her on. And it was interesting because we've had every year for almost all the years that we've been doing it, we've had the SVPs from Lifetime and Up TV on, but this was the first year we finally got someone from Hallmark to come on. So yeah, it's interesting to see the changes that they have been making, not only for more diversity, but also just more diversity in content as well. Like, I mean, this year they had, I think people would be genuinely surprised. Like, it's not all just the city girl going back to the country kind of storylines. We had a one that was called The Royal Nanny, which had an MIF agent that had to be the Royal Nanny, and so it was like a spy story. It was fun.
That's okay. I'll have to put that on my list. That does sound
yeah, it was fun. We could do a recap of it.
I'm in. As long as I can find it. Honestly,
yeah,
that's part of the issue, is that it's hard for me to find things sometimes. But this one, Magic in Mount Holly, was conveniently located on YouTube. It's as if they were like, Haley, here you go. It is here on a silver platter. There's no VPNs needed. I didn't need your Amazon password this time.
Yeah, the you can watch. I watched it on Tubi, so it's available multiple places.
Yeah, I feel like what movie did we do last time? The Maltese Holiday. I had to like put my credit card in for something, and I still couldn't watch the movie. So I don't know if I'm getting charged now. Yeah, that's what it was, for PureFlix. I was like, I don't want my name in this database.
You start getting on like your ads on Facebook and stuff like that. You start getting PureFlix.
Oh boy.
Oh my gosh. Well, let's dive in. Let's talk about. I honestly feel like with Magic in Mount Holly that they came to set every day and just made it up.
That's
like
fair.
There were like really strange parts where it was like, why do we have this long section where she's fighting with her brother about like things?
I also think they forgot to rent a camera. And they shot the entire thing on an iPhone 7.
Yeah. Yeah. And they had no sound or lighting.
No, not even a flashlight available. Like, they did this and like, I don't know what happened. And it's like they spent all of their money on the weird interstitials. Like, they downloaded those GIFs off like a website or something, because some of them I was like, oh, what is happening here?
Like, I have very little movie making abilities, but I'm pretty sure that if you and I spent like a weekend together, we could make a movie.
Yeah. What, like, at one point there was like truly a full minute of different like money being like handed around, and like these like weird clips, and they were like obviously fake money too. Like, it was so plastic. It was one of the oddest like cinema choices I have ever seen, and like, I am using cinema strongly here.
Yeah, the plot, according to IMDb, the plot is a new gallery owner discovers that she can paint the future using a paintbrush left by Santa. As she discovers the true magic within herself, she also learns to love and be more confident. So very inspiring.
I'd love to fill my heart with kindness, but I have a hard time doing that about Noelle Palmer's character. I thought there was like that. It was the epitome of like, go ahead, girl, give us absolutely nothing. There was no acting involved from her part.
Yeah, it was very, very interesting that they, I don't know, just how it was kind of fascinating to watch, because the whole time I'm just like, what is going to happen next? Because I have no idea.
Yeah.
We're following no like normal narrative structure.
There was no structure. It was just like a glass of water being spilled on the floor. There was not like, I've never done this before, but I was dying to like turn it off halfway through and just take a break and pick it up again today. And then I realized I was only 15 minutes in.
Yeah. Well, it starts out, so Crystal Lowe is playing her best friend. And
she was fantastic. Daphne was the best part of this.
Yeah, I didn't even catch her name. Was her name Daphne?
Yeah.
Yeah. She must be friends with Candy Cain.
Hopefully. Probably. Yeah. She was great. I loved her. Yeah. Put her in some feature films.
Yeah. Well, I was kind of like, oh, this is surprising to have her in the movie. But yeah, they have this that supposedly they live in this town where the ski crowd isn't showing up. There's no snow, I guess.
Yeah. So it's taken a hit on. Okay, and I just need I've been trying to apply some real world thought to it. So if we're not quite at Christmas yet. We are somewhere between, maybe she said December 4th was her birthday, but we didn't celebrate her birthday at all, but we're close to Christmas, but like the epilogue is New Year. So we're somewhere between December 5th and Christmas. Now, I am not an avid skier. Nobody should trust me on any athletic apparatus whatsoever.
Yeah.
From what I know about ski season, it usually starts around here, late November, if we're lucky, early mid-December.
Right.
Now,
so it wouldn't be like a crisis if there was no snow at the beginning of December.
No, and like I'm in a pretty even parallel with Vermont, which is where this movie takes place.
Yeah.
So I am thinking that the business owners in this small town probably have some contingency to if people don't show up, especially with global warming. Like, you guys got to change your business plan if you're relying solely on snow existing.
Right. Yeah.
Now, I have a hard time believing that restaurants are just calling it quits based on like 2 weeks of warmish weather.
Well, at first, when it very, very first started, I was like, are they actually going to acknowledge COVID? That's what I thought. The way they were like, nobody's here, nobody's out.
Fair. That would make more sense.
Yeah. Because it came out in 2021. And so I thought, well, maybe that would be interesting, at least, because like for the most part, none of these movies have acknowledged COVID. None of the Christmas movies have acknowledged COVID. So I was like, oh, okay, maybe that's what they're doing. And that's their explanation why like nobody's there in the town. But nope, it was just slow.
2 weeks of warmish weather.
Yeah. And so then this man appears, this old man, and she's like, I'm going to bring you some gingerbread. But she goes to this plate of cookies where there was no gingerbread on that plate of cookies. And she comes back.
And it took her 15 minutes to do that.
And he's gone. And he's left this paintbrush.
I thought it was chopsticks at first. I forgot what the premise of this movie was. And I was like, oh, he left some magic chopsticks. Yeah. That sounds great. I'd love some Thai food right now, or some Chinese food. I would love anything right now.
So then she's like painting, and she even paints on the camera at one point. We never really see, we never actually see her really painting. We never see
any artistic talent whatsoever in this movie. I cannot comprehend how this art gallery has opened, because there's like 4 paintings on the wall that are all absolute terrible. Sorry, I'm trying to watch I know you're a little bit of a softer language podcast. And then we see her, like, it's just aggressively bad, I would say.
Then she leaves and she goes home for dinner, and everybody is like super mad at her because she's evidently late for dinner, or she missed dinner or something like that.
She like didn't answer her phone. It's like family, like she's obviously opening her art gallery. If you live 4 minutes away, as is later said in the film, why don't you just walk on down there and see? Were they too busy trying to make sure the little brother was like living his best life?
The little brother,
screw that
weird.
Kid.
What's weird?
He sucked.
Today's episode of the podcast is sponsored by W Rated, the podcast where we willingly watch the world's worst rated movies. Join me, Daisy, And me, Claire, as we break down the IMDb Bottom 100, choosing a different film from the list every episode. We take a deep dive into the plot, production, release, and reviews, usually with a special guest, to uncover if these films are truly as bad as everyone says they are. You can find us on Spotify, Apple, Good Pods, and anywhere else you find your podcasts.
Very snarky, the little brother, and it's just like, if you live at home, I haven't lived at home for many years, but if I did, like 9 times out of 10, because this wasn't like Christmas Eve, it wasn't Christmas, it wasn't like a special important day. If I lived at home, it would be like, oh, you showed up for dinner, great, kind of thing. Like, it's not like, how dare you miss it. What? Like, that's not the way it works.
No, especially if you're over the age of 18, which I assume she is, because she like has a whole graduate of university.
And then we have this really bizarre scene where she's getting ready, and they have this extreme close up on her lips and her eye.
What are we doing here?
What is this, a Stanley Kubrick
I
movie?
forgot about that. I had blocked. There was just so many. There was so many terrible shots that didn't even make my top 5, and but it was probably number 6.
Yeah, it was like just the one eye.
Like, it is not a Maybelline commercial. Maybe it is.
Yeah,
I don't know.
So she calls her grandma, and the grandma says, "You're a dream chaser." And then we get a weird scene with, she had met Cody earlier.
This whole movie was weird scenes.
Yeah. But she had met Cody earlier. I forgot to say that. Named Tyler. His name is Tyler.
In the most painful scene possible.
It was really bad. And so then you see a scene with him and his Uncle Joe. And I guess Uncle Joe is like sick or something, because Tyler is very upset with him for coming outside, leaving his house.
I think, it sounded like he had a light heart attack. Or some arrhythmia, and like something. That's something. It's not totally defined, and that's okay. We don't need.
I mean,
HIPAA laws
general,
and everything.
Most doctors would say for most conditions, like, moving around is generally encouraged.
Yeah, and some like fresh air. And also, like, it's not that cold out, allegedly. So what does he need a blanket for?
True.
Also, the Danish just leave their babies and strollers outside all winter, so it's fine if an old man does it every once in a while. Not even an old man, middle-aged man.
Right. He wasn't
sits
even
on
that
his
old.
porch. How dare you, Uncle Jim, Paul,
Joe,
Frank,
Joe.
My bad. So we do see that, and
and I swear this was the longest scene with him debating about going to the party or not. Like, you would think this was a really important decision in his life.
Yeah, and his aunt was there and helping him make the decision. You know me, I like to bake, I like food, I like thinking about food, I like looking at food. If those are world famous chocolate chip cookies, then I think I'm mistaken on what I've been seeing as chocolate chip cookies in the last 31 years.
Yeah, they did look like very Costco-y.
I would eat them, please don't get me wrong, but I just don't think they're painting worthy.
They probably took the cookies from that cookie platter.
They
in the
did.
beginning of the scene.
Yes.
And then, I think so.
Absolutely, they did. I think there is too much baking soda in those cookies. That's what it looked like to me.
Oh, yeah. Well, so she paints a picture of cookies, and this is the first like miracle. We can't.
Like, do you really think that, like,
so Cody brings a plate of cookies, and basically in the world of this movie, that means that they are destined. She painted cookies, he brought cookies, they need to be together.
But even the plate was the same.
Yeah.
That's really
it's unbelievable. Yeah, and this is when we get the gallery opening, and this is when we get all those gratuitous money shots that you mentioned.
Who's okay?
And there's this man from New York that wants to buy this painting. And I
No,
thought it was so strange because not only was it like not that great of a painting, it was tiny. There's no way you could use this in your hotel. Like it was, and they had like other paintings there. Why would they pick that one as the one that he's going to be interested in? I mean, it was like 8 by 10. Like it was tiny.
Yeah, and I like art. I wouldn't say I'm like an art historian, blah blah blah, but like I am not paying $3,000 for that. Or maybe I just don't have enough like petty cash kicking around to pay $3,000 for that.
$3,000. And she's like, I don't know if I'm gonna sell it.
Yeah, she's like, I don't know if I want to sell this one. I like that one. Just paint another one. It is a tree on a road. I'll paint one for you. You can have it for free $99.
Yeah. And then we get Tyler saying, it's a big transition coming from the big city. And he's like, I'm a city slicker. What can I say?
Like, how many people do you think have actually said in real life the term city slicker and like we're not ironic about it? Because it's 0.
And I wrote down, this is probably 45 minutes into the movie at this point, and I wrote down nothing has happened.
Nothing happened. There was a 5-minute span in which we got some more action, but that was about it.
Yeah. This is the least magic-y magic movie I've ever seen.
Oh my God. I forgot about the magic.
Yeah.
Like I genuinely forgot about the magic. And we also see her like art professor who's like, you're my favorite student. You are so talented. Yeah. Like, where's the talent? How is this?
And then we never see him again.
No.
I don't think.
Well, we see him when he comes to pick up the $50 earrings for his daughter tomorrow.
Oh, yeah.
But like, how is this boring woman who's not good at painting your favorite student?
So the gallery opening took so long. It was unbelievable. I swear it was at least 30 minutes of the movie was this gallery opening and like just various conversations that went nowhere. And then after that, we get them walking home.
But Cody comes to the gallery opening late
with the cookies,
like after it's over, and it was like, oh, here's some cookies, and she's like, do you want one? And he's like, heck yes. But then they like look at the cookie painting and they're like, whoa, crazy, a painting of cookies, like the plate is even the same. My favorite, one of my favorite lines in the movie was like, oh, my aunt needs that back, by the way. And she's like, yeah, of course. Like it was such a throwaway line. It was like, I'm so glad we included that. Like what would we have done without that line?
But the walk home had some of the worst lighting and sound I have ever heard in a movie. The road noise was so loud you could barely hear what the actors were saying, and I was just like, this movie really does feel like a student film, and that's maybe not nice to student films because there's some quality student films, but it really felt like a student film. As far as then he asks her out and it's very awkward,
because she's like not committal to it, and like there's no chemistry here, and like I appreciate the boldness on his part just to like ask her, but also they met like 45 minutes ago.
And he's like, people love the cookie painting. And then the next day he brings her poinsettias and he's like, I'm not asking you to marry me. I'm just asking you to go to the game together. And I'm like, yeah, that's true. Why is she freaking out? I don't know. It's literally just her first date.
She was just got out of a bad relationship that we here mentioned one time. Exactly. One time.
Well, and this game was so strange. So he's sitting there next to his friend and she's sitting there next to her sister, and there's this like back and forth, the tete-a-tete between his friend and her sister that was just very strange.
It was strange, but there was more chemistry there, but then between Cody and Noelle the entire movie.
You can't wave to a girl before you meet them.
Why not? Who says? I agree. Who says? Like, wave. Yeah.
And
sure,
then
it might come off as creepy, but they might like it.
Yeah. And then they proceed to then go on dates and whatever. The whole thing
on an accidental date because like they both got ditched.
Yeah, it was going to be a double
because there
date.
was the hockey painting. Don't forget, she painted a picture with the magic paintbrush, which is also like one size, and it's like a big paintbrush. And like, there's
Right.
no way she's doing fine detail with that huge paintbrush.
Yeah. And then like her family is getting super into this hockey game. Like her dad's yelling, her mom's yelling. And we just spent a lot of time, whether it was this back and forth between the sister and the friend, or, you know, I was just like, what is the point of this? I'm so it was really funny.
And not like haha funny.
No, yeah, like this is embarrassing funny.
Yeah.
So her painting of the hockey game comes true in the game. And it felt like
brother scores the goal.
Yes. Her brother, who had been kind of difficult earlier. And that's when, as she says, it's a magic paintbrush that can paint in the future. And so somehow that gets turned into, you need to do a painting of Tyler proposing to you. They've been on one date.
Because it's such an absurd thing that like you have to figure, like, so if you're asking about this, are you hoping, like, are you looking to see the return in like conservatively 1 to 2 years?
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I don't know what she expects.
What was the game plan?
And the if that was supposed to be a painting of Cody, it was terrible painting. It looked nothing like him at all.
You know what they should have done is just gotten that AI app that made its round over Twitter about 3 weeks ago and got one of those paintings from there.
Yeah, agree.
Or like hired somebody off of Etsy to like, hey, can you paint these? We'll pay an extra $100 because it's going to be in a movie.
Yeah.
And I'm sure it would have been better than what happened. Like, it was so bad. So yes, we get to this point where this old woman runs into the store. She had lost her engagement ring because she pulled off her mittens. You know what? I am afraid of that. I will not lie to you. I'm going on a winter trip this weekend and I am not going to bring my wedding rings. Don't tell my husband, because I'm afraid of like losing them pulling off a mitten. Anyway, so this dramatic old woman, like, she's like, this is the only thing I have left of my husband. Like, baby girl, this is it. The engagement, you spent like 50 years together and this is your last remaining memory of your husband. Like, did you gamble everything away at the Mohegan Casino?
So, yeah, I'd believe it. Yeah.
Like, how many Dancing with the Stars shows did you go see at the Mohegan Sun? Tell me. I bet she saw Backstreet Boys in there.
And so this painting, she has him reaching out with the ring, right, to her in the painting. And that's when she comes into the store. That's when he finds the ring and he's holding it up there like this. And so she's like, it's just like the painting. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So earlier in the movie, she had painted the cookies and said, I cannot hang this. It is too wet. We have to wait for it to dry.
Yeah.
In this scene, she runs in with the wet painting, being like, look, I painted you. Again, she said, this should only take me an hour. I feel like a portrait of somebody, again, I am not a professional artist, should take longer than 1 single hour.
Yeah.
But who am I to judge?
Well, I know there's like, I think landscapes and other things like that, you know, like you can Bob Ross it and put it together pretty quick. But like, yeah, a profile where you have to do like skin and, you know, like that's going to take a while. But then Crystal's character, I guess, did you say she was named Daphne? Anyway, she's like, what are you doing? You're totally self-sabotaging this relationship.
For a guy,
you're pushing him away.
It is Thursday and they met on Tuesday. Tuesday night, even. It hasn't even been a full 48 hours.
They should be engaged by now. What is wrong with her? I was dying. That was really funny. And then they have this whole scene where she's like, I'm really glad I met you, Tyler. And he says, what if I just take you out to dinner tonight? And she says, I don't think I'm ever going to understand you.
So complicated. Women. Am I right? Yeah, but she can't go out for dinner because they're having a celebratory dinner with her brother for scoring the winning goal.
Yeah.
Just invite him to that
And-
dinner.
And she
I don't
gives, oh yeah. And she gives the brother the painting. And he says, I don't think I'm ever, she says, this is probably the best gift I've ever gotten.
Oh, well, he's young still.
Yeah. And then we get this whole scene where she has like a painting of her gallery, I guess it's supposed to be. And she adds, with the paintbrush, she adds snow and it starts snowing.
Oh my God, of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
And then the Santa who gave her the paintbrush runs over the paintbrush and he's like, it doesn't matter. What matters is if you believe in the magic. And I'm like,
I missed that he ran over the paintbrush.
yeah.
I
And
didn't realize.
it's like, well, so what are the rules in this world of magic? Like you evidently don't need the paintbrush, but you do need the paintbrush sometimes, but only if you need it to help you believe.
Yeah, now you would leave and it's fine. Also, we forgot to talk about one of the most pivotal scenes, which is I think it was on the walk home that we discussed, but they talked about how Noelle got her name, and it's because her parents, who obviously need lives, decided to name their children after
holidays,
the closest holiday. So she's December 4th, which is like not that close to Christmas.
Right. Yeah. It's not like it's the 25th or 26th or something.
Yeah,
like that.
I would say like give her like a Hanukkah themed name because that would probably usually fall closer to her birthday.
Like my aunt was born on the 26th. She's named Carol. That's like legit, Christmas Carol.
Yeah, but see, I would probably do something like that too, but as like a middle name.
Yeah.
And like when she was like she's like, yeah, my sister's name is Jacqueline. I was like, Halloween. And then she's like, yeah, she was born like the day before Halloween. And Dylan? Well, he was born on Bob Dylan's birthday. Like I was like,
because he was born in May. And so Cody says, so something with Memorial Day. And he's like, oh no, Bob Dylan's birthday.
What? Gosh, shut down the government services. No postal workers working today. It is Bob Dylan's birthday.
We'd like to take a second and thank our sponsor for this episode of the podcast. It's the Hallmarkies merch store.
Are you looking for that perfect gift for the postable, hardy, or Hallmarky in your life?
What about getting that t-shirt or hoodie that will help you stand out at your next holiday party?
Now is the time to check out the Hallmarkies merch store.
Full of festive designs by artists like Jessica Miller, Carrie from Hallmark Comics, and more.
You can even have more than just shirts, but totes, cell phone cases, notebooks, mugs, and more.
And it isn't just Hallmark. We have designs for Anna Green Gables, Man from Snowy River, The Nanny, and more.
Every purchase at the merch store goes to help support the podcast and allows us to make the great content you know and love.
There are frequent sales, so go to tpublic.com/stores/Hallmarkies or see the link in the description.
That's tpublic.com/stores/Hallmarkies.
I mean, it's just so bonkers because they could have picked they could have had her be named Valentine or something, or I guess it's a boy, so it wouldn't work, but
Three
they could
girls,
have used anything they wanted. They could have him born around St. Patrick's Day and name him Patrick.
Yes, exactly. See, we thought about it for 35 seconds and we came up with something way better.
Yeah.
It's like they wanted that to be like the joke of the movie, but it fell so flat.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Well, then we have the magic that lives in all of us. You just had to have the confidence and believed in yourself. She says, I believed in the magic within myself.
Nice.
And then there's this like narration, which like there hadn't been narration throughout the film. So it was
just at like the very beginning. Right at the top. And that's it.
Yeah. And he's like, they couldn't believe the magic was all around them. The snow had returned to the hills of Mount Holly. And it's just like, what?
Also, I feel like people probably would have booked their holidays already and would have still went. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Anyway.
And then Tyler says, I have all the magic I need right here.
You met 48 hours ago, please.
And then
Save yourself from yourselves.
They have Christmas, and then there's New Year's. They have fireworks for New Year's.
Where they choose to make out in the gallery instead of going to look at the fireworks, which is not a choice I would ever make.
Right.
But
I mean, I guess it's very New Year's-y, kiss at New Year's kind of thing.
I guess.
But
so. Allegedly. Don't sign me up for that.
A talented artist had played Santa's elf this year. And so yeah, it was rough. It really was.
It was. And I feel bad because like many people put their heart and soul into this. And I feel bad coming here and being like snarky, but it's like you set yourself up for this. You knew what you were doing when you made this movie.
I just feel bad because I know you only watch like five movies a year, and now
and it's all ones that you tell me to watch for podcasts. Yeah, I know.
And now one of those spots has been taken out.
The only movie I've watched in 2023 is this one. What a way to start off the year, huh?
You probably think I'm a bad friend, but
I don't. I love this. I love this so much. I get so if you were like, Haley, do you want to watch an Oscar-winning film with me? I'd be like, that's not my thing. I don't like quality. I only want these.
There's on IMDb, it says it got an award nomination.
For what? Best movie shot on like a handy cam?
For best performance in a streaming film role by teen actor Andrew Fama. It's the brother?
Guess, okay, right? Congratulations to you, Andrew Fama.
Yeah, way to go.
My gosh darn.
Yeah, I don't even see him on the cast list. That must be.
Yeah, I think that is.
Must be the brother.
It is. Dylan Palmer.
Oh, that's funny. So yeah. It was something else. I almost want to send this over to the what's the name of those guys that do the commentary? The Mystery Science Theater guys. I think they would have a lot of fun with this movie.
Yeah. You know what? The story was bad and that's fine. But like it could have been enhanced by so many things. Good acting. A better camera. At least one light. Maybe a boom mic. Less weird interstitials. Like, do not use all your money.
Riff tracks. That's what they're called. Riff tracks. Those are the guys.
Yeah, like
they would have fun with this one.
You should send it to them. Like, I want to support independent film, but when it's like this, I don't know if I can.
No, I appreciate that I always try to appreciate when people make a film because I didn't make anything. What do I, but yeah, this one was rough. It really was. And I thought going into it, I'm like, oh, this one won't be too bad. Like, this sounds like a cute idea. A little bit of magic. But
they didn't like follow through with the magic.
Yeah, the magic made no sense.
Because we can suspend our disbelief here when it comes to magic.
Sure, yeah.
But it has to make sense, and it didn't. It didn't make sense.
Yeah, in the very end, it's just kind of like you don't even need the paintbrush. It's just if you have confidence, I guess. But then why doesn't everybody have this power?
Yeah, like
because they're not as artistically talented as she
why
is?
is Noelle so special that she gets the magic paintbrush and the magic confidence? What about like Sal down the road who had to close his restaurant? Where's his like magic spatula?
Well, and we never hear anything more about Uncle Joe again.
No, may he rest in peace. Like,
I mean, going to this party was such an ordeal, like for Cody, like just the debate. I don't know if I can go. I would be leaving you
And she's like,
for the
no,
evening.
She's like, you need to leave. You're annoying. Like the
Yeah.
aunt was like, get out of my house.
So anyway, there you go.
You're evicted. Like,
Well, let us know if you've seen this movie, what you think of it in the comments. We would love to hear your thoughts. And thanks so much, Haley. And I appreciate it.
It was great. I love coming here every single time.
Yeah.
I can't wait.
So,
we have another movie on our list. So
yeah, and you know, I was just thinking that there's another one that's totally insane that I would love to watch with you called Pottersville. Have you ever heard of this movie, Pottersville?
no.
So it is this crazy movie about this town that is looking for Bigfoot. But somehow it's also like an homage to It's a Wonderful Life. And it stars like all of these really famous actors. It's got Ron Perlman and Michael Shannon and
Judy Greer, Christina Hendricks.
it is totally insane. There's like furries at a certain point. Yeah, we should watch it.
I'm in.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm in. It just from the photo stills alone, it looks like much better cinematography happened here, which is great.
Well, it was like a feature film. It wasn't like made for a TV stream. It was like made to be released in theaters and stuff.
Where was it released?
I think I don't know if it's just in the UK, but it was on Netflix. I don't know if it is. It looks like it's on Tubi now, but I don't know if it's still on Netflix. But anyway, it was crazy.
Okay.
And I died laughing writing my review for it. So
I'm in.
All right, we'll do it. If you all listening have any suggestions of terrifically terrible movies that me and Haley can review, please let us know. Put in the comments.
Yeah, let us know. We're in.
So, Haley, how can people follow you on social media and your content?
So we're still on a little bit of a hiatus from The Bachelor, but that is coming back on January 23rd. So you can find all of our coverage there on the Reality TV Wrap Ups Network. If you like the sound of my voice, you can go listen to that. I was also on Nothing But Netflix, talking about the show Pressure Cooker, which was actually an enjoyable show over on Netflix. And if you want to follow me on Twitter and Instagram, I'm at @strong_ on both those platforms. And if you want to check out what I'm reading, you can follow my bookstagram, The Strong Library. I end up covering a lot of books that like are in line with these movies that we watch. So
cool. Good. I'll have that in the description. And you can find me at Rachel's Reviews, all over social media, iTunes, YouTube, and on Rotten Tomatoes. Check that out. And also make sure you're following us at Hallmarkies Pod and Hallmarkies Podcast. We got our Facebook back, which was very exciting.
Very excited to see you back on Facebook.
It was bonkers that they disabled us for as long as they did, but we got back on. So check us out there. And if you are listening on iTunes, please leave your ratings and reviews. We really appreciate it. And if you are watching on YouTube, please give the video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. We appreciate that so much. And we'll talk to y'all later. Merry Christmas, everybody. Bye.